Good afternoon. If this is Monday, it must be the Unapologetic Amateur looking for experts in Africanism, created by Ruby Williams Shivers, producer, Sheila Brown Bird, co-producers, Juanita McClure, and Lula Williams Salvador. In loving memory. I'm sure as villagers you probably heard the passing of our dear sister, and I just want to take a few minutes to just acknowledge her, the fact that we are going to miss her. And so this is Lula May Salvador. May to her friends and family, a beacon of love, faith, and resilience in eternal rest, 25 January 2025. Born 20 October 1938 in Lake Butler, Florida. Attended public schools in Lake Butler, Florida, raised with 10 siblings. Relocated to Elizabeth, New Jersey in 1959, a member of the singing group, The Phenomenas. They had a single out, You Gave Me Happiness, that can be found in the Billboard charts. And this was a group that was formed with her sisters, Ruby and Rose. In 1960, Lula was blessed with a son, Rocknor Williams. Continued her education at Seton Hall University and Union County College. Her community service included a founding member of Women in Support of the Million Man March. She also homeschooled her nephews, Hakeem and Nasir. Now, also those who know her, you know that she possessed legendary culinary skills, especially her fried chicken and okra. Member of Mount Teman AME Church, choir member, gospel and spiritual choir. Also a member of the Queens of Harmony gospel group. Member of the Ruth Fellowship Ministries, Plainfield. Most recently, she was a member of the First Baptist Church of Lincoln Gardens in Somerset, New Jersey. Also a member of the senior choir. Co-producer of this particular program, Unapologetic Amateur looking for experts in Africanism. We will miss her, but again, we will definitely never forget her. Her funeral will be this Friday, February 11th at Mount Teman Church at 11 o'clock in Elizabeth, New Jersey. So again, we just want to keep you up to date what's going on with our dear sister. I will miss her, and I'm sure that you will too. So with that said, today we have a very special show. We have a co-host, and this young lady will be with the program all through February. She'll be the co-host for February. And her name is Michelle Telford Sessoms, is a first-time author who has written Grandma Pauline is a Queen. Michelle has a bachelor's degree in business from Montclair State University and has worked as an elementary school teacher. In addition, she holds a manicurist license in New Jersey. Michelle married her high school sweetheart and is a proud mother of two. She resides in New Jersey. Michelle is enthusiastic about sharing her culture and childhood experiences. And this is the cover of her very beautiful book. Okay? So, Michelle, I welcome you to the program,
Terry.
And I'm glad to have you as my co-host for this month. We're going to do some amazing things.
Yes. I'm really excited. I'm thankful to Ruby. Again, we all want to send our condolences to in reference to her sister, beloved Lula.
Yes.
Every time you saw Ruby, you saw Lula.
That's right.
So
that is true.
Yeah.
Is
so
true.
I just pray. My prayers are with the family, and that her spirit continues to live on.
Michelle, thank you so much.
Yes.
Now we have a guest, and this is someone that you know personally. And so who's our guest today?
Well, we have the lovely Sabrina Crumpton.
Lovely.
She's going to share her book today with us. It's called Rediscovering Your Worth. I'll talk a little bit about Sabrina and her bio. And then, of course, she's here with us, so she's going to share a lot more. Right. Sabrina is a mindset coach, speaker, and author dedicated to helping individuals reclaim their self-worth and live authentically. I love that.
That's right.
Drawing from her personal journey of overcoming self-doubt and redefining her identity. Sabrina uses her experiences to guide others toward helping healing and empowerment. She is here to tell us more. The first question I have, Sabrina, is why write this book?
Oh, wow. Straight out the gate, huh?
Straight out the gate.
Well, first of all, let me just say thank you. It is a
Thank you.
privilege and an honor to be on this platform to discuss not just me, but my book. So what prompted me to write the book? Well, I have to tell you that it began probably around 2018, 2019. I was in the midst of a very, number one, pivotal time, but going through a very bad marriage. And it was birth, probably, it started there. My husband and I got married in 2018, but you ever know that you shouldn't do something, but you do it anyway?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was faced with.
Yes, I think we all
we've
went
been
through
there.
that.
Woo, yes, I had met him, and we got married in 2018, even though we shouldn't have. And in 2019, the end of it, it was so funny. I was having a conversation with my daughter, and I said to my daughter, I said, he's leaving. And my daughter said, no, he's not leaving. I said, oh, he's leaving. So about a week went past, and I'm sitting in our garage, which we had converted into a family room because we had a dog. We used to let him run outside, and we would sit in there to kind of watch him.
Yes, yes.
And my then husband drove up, and he came in the sitting room where I was at, and he looked at me, and he said, I'm leaving at the end of the month. I didn't say anything initially. He walked away, and then he came back, and he said, I'm leaving because you're not happy. I said, don't deflect. It has nothing to do with me.
Don't put it on me.
Why you really leaving?
You're the one.
Yeah.
I mean, you doing it. So he said to me, I'm not happy. Fair enough. Well, he didn't even wait till the 31st of the month. He left on the 20th of the month.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Moving vans came in, and with that, I said to him, I said, you're just going to leave? We have bills together. We had this humongous house on 2 acres of land, almost 5,000 square feet of home.
Beautiful.
And I said, you're just going to walk out and not discuss it? And he said, you're yelling at me. And with that, he walked out.
Wow.
This was the first time, probably in my entire life, that I was in a state of depression and shock.
Yes, of course.
So about 2 weeks later, my daughter said to me, Mom, you got to snap out of it. I've never seen you like this. And I said to her, you just have to give me some time. I'm going to figure this out. But time went on, and I still didn't figure it out. I went to a financial advisor, and his advice was, sell your home and file bankruptcy.
Wow.
I left the financial advisor office, and I went and sat in my car. And my mouth's a little dry, so bear with me.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I'm welling up, y'all.
Well,
So
we're here with you.
Yeah, we
so.
have. Yes.
You take your time.
It's a safe place right here.
Yes.
So I go sit in my car, and I start crying. And I said, God, I created these bills, and I want to pay them. I do not want to file bankruptcy. With that, I drove off. Christmas was rolling around. Thank you. And I had no money for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
I had 2 kids at the home, 2 younger ones, and then my oldest daughter with her 2 kids. And I had no money.
Wow.
Right before Christmas, I realized, though, I had stuff. Lots of stuff.
A lot of stuff, right?
We all have lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff. Thank goodness for lots of stuff.
Yes.
I had an engagement ring that was pretty sizable, so I took it and I pawned it. And with that, I was able to buy a Christmas tree, buy gifts, and it turned out to be an amazing Christmas because of my faith.
Yes.
And in January, back to the same scenario, depression, because the money wasn't flowing. I had this big house.
Of course.
And then, I don't know, it's as if God said enough is enough, and the money just started flowing.
Okay.
And I started my healing journey because it was easy to point the finger
Yes.
and say what they did. Much harder to look at yourself to see what you did.
Yeah, that's powerful.
That's true.
So when I started to look at myself, I realized what I was riddled with: trauma, hurt, pain, hence the reason why I attracted him in the first place. I started on my healing journey.
Wonderful.
And through my healing journey, it was amazing. It was hurtful. It was painful. It was happy. It was joy. It was a conundrum of feelings.
Okay.
But when you do the work, it is beautiful on the other side.
Yes. I'm going to give you just a moment to, just sort of digest that, because again, you share some very personal things, and we appreciate that. So we want to. And your book is entitled "Rediscovering Your Worth: Embracing Self-Love to Open Doors to an Amazing Life." So how soon after all that you went through that you sat down to write this book?
So it was certainly a journey that began obviously in 2018. Started my healing at the height of the pandemic in 2020.
Oh, okay.
I got divorced in 2020.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the beginning of this year that I started to craft the book.
Okay.
Because I knew that I wasn't there totally, but I knew I wasn't where I was in 2020.
Okay. Yeah.
I knew I wasn't where I was in 2018 and, before that. So the beginning of the year is when I started writing the book.
2024.
Well, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Well, Sabrina, I really, really love the book. The book resonates with me so much because I think we tend to forget about these things as far as looking at ourselves,
Yes.
doing the work. And it looks like you have done the work. Yeah. And I'm so thankful that you are sharing your work in this book. For example, just to talk about journals, a lot of times people say, oh, just journal, this, that, and the other. But you actually give examples of what it is that you can journal and prompts and examples and things like that, which helps, because some people can get stuck and then they're just not sure, exactly what to do. So I found this a tool that you can use, and it can help you on your own journey. Like you said, that's the whole purpose and point. And I just really love the book. I like how you also, you made me think about what it is that I need to do as far as self-care. Take time for myself, set boundaries. That's a big thing. And I'm thinking this book, it covers all generations. Like this could be a good book for younger women to get started, to give them a guide, a tool on what it is that they can do to help with their mental health and their journey. And it also taps the older individual as a reminder. Like sometimes we may forget about these small things. We get so busy and we just can't take a moment and focus on ourselves.
Yes.
And one of the things that I like about the book, I like the title. You say here, Rediscovering Your Worth: Embracing Self-Love to Open Doors to an Amazing Life. Why is it so hard for people to love themselves?
Oh.
Why is that so hard? I mean, you would think, you know yourself the most. Why can't you give yourself this self-love?
Yeah, that's deep, because a lot of people don't even know what that means.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know what that means. And so one of the other reason I wrote this book is because it gives you guides and tools, right, of what you should do.
Yes.
But let's go back to self-worth. Self-worth is inherent. It's something that is inside of you. It's not nothing you have to earn. It's not like a job and you want to get a promotion and you have to earn that. It is inside of us. A baby doesn't have to earn self-worth. The babies just are. It is the outside forces and influences that takes all of that self-worth away from us.
Right.
When we when we're born, depending on our caretakers, determines how we grow up into an adult. Life's situations determines how we grow up into an adult. And so the one thing we don't do is learn self-love. Like you said earlier, Michelle, self-love is setting boundaries. Self-love is learning who you are and what you like. If you ask many people today, who are you? They couldn't even begin to tell you. If you ask people what they like, they couldn't break it down.
Do you think there's like too many distractions as far as like the internet and social media and people trying to live other people's lives like what they see? They may see people vacationing and doing this, that, and the other, and then maybe comparing themselves too much to what they see and not just living what they feel in their own heart. Because maybe a vacation is not something they want to do. Maybe, maybe they like being home or whatever it is that they enjoy. Maybe they should just look and deep inside and see what it is they like and not compare.
Absolutely. We look at social media, but even before we get to social media, because social media was not always the case, right? Not the way it is today. When you grow up and you do not like who you are because of outside of influences, and I'm just going to touch on African Americans right now.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
That's what the show is about.
We have been taught to hate ourselves.
Yes.
We've been taught to hate our skins. We've been taught to hate our foreheads, our nose, our lips, when we have the most beautiful features there are in this world. And so we have to tap back into who we are authentically, right? To discover what it is that we like. And you're right, you have to take away those distractions. We have to get grounded. When do we take time to walk through the park and just enjoy nature? That is the most beautiful thing in the world. When do we take time to sit still and just listen? When do we nurture ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually? All of that makes you who you are. And when you don't do that, of course you want to emulate somebody else.
That's right.
Because that looks good to you. That's what the world told you should look like.
Right.
They're telling you that they're happy with all of the stuff. I had all of the stuff. It helped me get through Christmas, but it didn't help me maintain a marriage.
Right.
It didn't help me fall in love with myself.
Wow.
So as a people, how can we nurture each other and lift each other up and
Good question.
make sure that we know, like you said, your worth? Like, we are a people that been through a lot, and it looks like we lost that fight because we got comfortable. And I think we need to get back to that as far as us working together, supporting one another, lifting each other up.
That's a good point.
And there's no such thing as crabs in a barrel. That's crabs lifting us up. Let's change that narrative.
Right.
That's a good point. That's a
Yeah,
good point.
I think that's what it is. It's time to come together.
It is absolutely time to come together. We are all one. I am you. You are me.
That's right.
But we have to start with ourselves, because if you notice, we give more compassion to somebody else than we do our own selves.
I noticed that in your book, and I said that too. And I said,
that's
I said, Sabrina has a good point here. You often too ask the person to write letters, write a love letter to yourself.
Yes.
And then there was also a piece in the book that she was talking about. If someone came to you, Terry, a friend, complaining about something that they did or made a mistake, you would console them.
You would console them.
However, if it's you're going to be hard on
Think
yourself.
about the times you made a mistake.
Oh,
What's
my
the
goodness.
first thing you say to yourself? You're so stupid.
Yes.
Oh my
You
God,
do
how
those
could you
things,
do
right.
that?
Right, you don't give yourself grace.
No, you don't.
So I think
You
that's
don't.
what you mentioned in the book.
Yeah.
To make sure you give yourself grace. Treat
Radical.
yourself the
Radical.
way you will want to be treated.
That's
And
right.
that's how I try to live my life.
I like because you talk about the radical self-compassion.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And one of the things, as you went through your story in the book, you asked yourself, wasn't I enough?
Right.
That's a deep question, right?
Think about it. Questions we probably don't verbalize, but it shows in our actions.
Yes.
It shows in our actions when we don't honor our boundaries. So if I'm dating and I tell a guy, I don't want any calls after 8 o'clock, but I allow him to call me at 8:15, I'm not honoring my boundaries, which means I'm not honoring myself.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So we have to learn how to put up safe boundaries to honor ourselves, right? We have to learn how to provide radical, not even just radical self-compassion for ourselves. We will bump into a chair, an inanimate object, and go, "Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me."
Right.
But for
ourselves,
ourselves, we'll
no.
look in the mirror. Some people don't even want to look in the mirror at
No,
themselves.
they don't. They don't. No.
Think about that.
Yeah.
That's deep.
It's very deep. It's very deep. But again, I think this book especially, it gives us a map to deal with these different things. And I think what happens is that, I think a lot of us are in a pretty good shape, but we need coaching.
Yes.
And so my question to you, Sabrina, how do you get involved in coaching?
Well, it was when I went on my healing journey that I started working with a coach. And then she had a program that certifies you to become a coach. And I took the certification, became a coach. And it was so funny because some of my clients, I had one lady that was a psychotherapist. And she said, "Sabrina, I want to go out to eat with you." She said, "But I'm torn between being your friend and you coaching me." Because I understand how to get in and, help you move from self-doubt to self-worth.
Okay.
And that's what I like about your book. You gave real life examples
Yes,
of your
beautiful.
clients and their stories and how they move forward with the situations that they were in. Everybody is different.
Oh, yeah.
So we know that. So everyone deals with things differently. And this is great to give a guide for those people who may be a little lost or not sure which way to go.
Right.
Or like I said, just a reminder.
That's true. And and again, the whole thing about self-doubt. How do you challenge your self-doubt?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
Yep.
Because that's something that's inside you. And again, as I read the book, I get this sense, and you can just elaborate on this. It's an inside job. Okay?
Literally.
Nobody
Yes.
can give you self-worth. Okay,
They cannot.
It comes from the inside out, and for some reason, people don't want to do that. And why is that so difficult? I mean, you would think
You know
that's
what?
an easy thing to do, right?
Yeah, it reminds me of the movie The Wizard of Oz.
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
Lovely the Wiz.
Yes.
You have all these things inside you,
Yeah.
but you just really don't know.
You don't know.
You don't
You
know.
think Mary knew she had baby Jesus inside of her? Baby!
No way.
You
no
knew.
way.
So we don't know until we discover.
Yes.
It took me to go through what I went through. It took the healing. It took me writing letters to myself.
See that?
Forgiveness is big. When folks do things to you, you have to find a way to forgive them. Forgiveness is not for them. You don't
Right.
forget what happened, but you forgive them. That is going
Right, because other people move on, and
Yes.
you're still stuck with issues. And
Forgiveness is
and,
big.
Yeah, you have to forgive and move on.
In the book, what I love about my book is that it is not just a book to talk to you. It is not just a read. It is a call to action.
Exactly.
You have
Exactly.
to
It's
do
beautiful.
certain
Yeah.
things to at least start the work. And this doesn't negate going to a professional, because if you need to go to a professional, a psychotherapist,
Why
a
not?
counselor,
Why not?
Right.
please, by all means. But this will at least get you started in the right direction.
Right, and what I like in your book, what you always say, like, take small steps.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to just
No,
jump right
you-
into
you
everything.
You don't.
So that is another good
Yeah,
reminder. I
yeah.
really enjoy reading it because it's like, oh yeah, it's like I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Because you want to do something, lose weight or whatever,
Whatever.
and then you're like, okay, now
think,
what?
Yeah, by the end of the
Right,
week,
by
I
the end
should
of the
have
week,
lost 10
should have
pounds.
had-
And it don't work that
right,
way.
don't work that way.
Right, and you know-
take like 30 minutes. A day.
And Michelle, to your point, take small steps, and you have to celebrate small wins, right?
Right, and I
wa-
like that you said that in the book too.
like
I wanted
you
to go
said
to
you
the
got
gym.
to honor yourself.
Yeah, I wanted to go to the gym, right? Because as you get older, obviously you gain weight, and you got to
happens.
figure that all out as well. Yeah,
It happens, Terry.
Yes,
And so-
everything must change.
yeah. And so I really, so what I would do, because it was hard for me at first, is I would get up and just put on my workout gear.
I like that. You mentioned that in the book.
Yeah,
I
and
said,
then
I
I
said, wait a minute, Sabrina she's on to something here.
Yeah, and
I
then
said, you mean I should just get up and get ready, like as if I'm going to actually do it?
I'm
That's
telling
right,
you.
right,
And then I
right,
would say,
right.
great job, Sabrina.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you
Encouragement. And then
encourage
guess
it,
what?
yes.
Now I work out with a trainer 3 days a week.
You see
Right.
that? It's beautiful.
So it's
gotta-
progress. You
progress.
you got to start small with anything.
Yeah, but the thing I like about the book, and I want you to speak about this, the process of visualization. Okay, what is that process?
Oh, yeah. So visualization can happen many ways, right? You can see it, like close your eyes and envision the life that you want.
Yes, yes.
You can map it out. You can get a piece of paper and you can map the family you want, the education you want.
Yes,
And it's so funny. I tell this story all the time. My daughter is the one who taught me about vision boards.
Okay.
About 7 years ago, she had this vision board and she put a car on there. She put a graduation cap.
Yeah,
she
whatever.
put
Yeah,
kids,
yeah.
a wedding ring, a husband. It was amazing.
Yes.
About 5 years later, she pulled out this vision board, didn't even think about it. So it's kind of like she set it and forget it.
Yeah, yeah, right.
She pulled out the vision board, and I kid you not, the very truck she had sitting outside, the same exact one, was on the vision board.
Yes,
She's got married. She graduated with her master's degree. She has 2 kids.
What?
Envision the life you want, but you want it to work. You have to believe it, and you have to do the work towards it.
That's a
You
good
can't
point.
just vision it and then just leave it.
But it's something about that subconscious, you know.
Yes.
Like
It is.
if you
That's
implant
powerful.
that
That's
seed,
powerful.
then you see it come into fruition. You have
Yes.
to start there. That's baby steps too. You have to start small.
So
And vision boards are beautiful because
They are. Yeah.
you know, I'm a visual learner, so when
See
you
that?
see something, you know, it
Yeah.
really resonates.
Yeah.
right.
And the thing is, I know for myself, you know, I've always been a very visual person, and I've always been in visualization because a lot of times I would just sit in my quiet and just imagine what I would want to happen. And like you said, you know, you plant that seed in your brain, and then you leave it alone.
And you
You
leave
know,
it
you
alone.
leave it alone, and then one day you look at your vision board and say, you know what, I have all these things. You know, and the thing is, I think what happens to a lot of us, we just don't think big enough.
That's it.
Okay,
That's it.
you know, because my whole thing, if you're gonna think big.
Right.
Right.
You know,
And that's what you mentioned in the book also. Sabrina, you know, she said
yes,
that
yes.
you sometimes you say, "Oh, I'm thinking too big," or "I'm thinking too small." No, it's what's for you.
And you know what's so funny? I remember being in college and I was in physical education, and my gym teacher came, my physical education teacher came around to all of us, and she was going down the line in the beginning. What grade do you want for the semester? So the first girl said an A. And she came to me. She said, "What grade do you want for the semester?" I said, all shy. I said, "I want to be." She said, "People with low self-esteem get low grades, right?" So then at the end of the semester, she comes back. "What grade do you want?" I said, "A."
You caught on quick.
Yeah. So many people think, like you said, small, but they don't believe that they can. I was in the car with my mom, and I was going to Ghana last year with my church, which was a phenomenal mission trip.
Of course.
Thank you
Of course.
for that, Pastor Quick. But anyway, I was in the car with my mom, and I was telling her I was going to Ghana. So my mother said, "Well, wow, how much is that trip?" So now my mother, mind you, is 96. She'll be 97 this year.
God bless her.
And I said to my mom, I said, "I don't know, it's like 5,000, 6,000. I don't know." My mother said, "You're a damn lie. Black people don't have $5,000 or $6,000."
Excuse me.
I said, "Oh." But it's our mindset.
But getting back to like our culture, our generation, and coming up like in the olden days, not only that is also when you say what people tell you, right?
Yeah.
What about when people tell you, well, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
You know, like,
Oh yeah.
like all those
That's
things.
that
How
outside
dare you?
influence.
Yeah, how dare you?
How dare
So
you
how do
dream
we
big?
get beyond that? Like you know, how do we keep moving forward?
Well, that's where the work comes in, right? Because think about it. Somebody at some point probably told me I wasn't enough, or that's what I thought because I wasn't getting the love and the validation from young. And so as you get older, You seek outside validations, right? We start seeking things
Oh, man,
to
yes,
validate
yes,
us.
yes,
However, when you do the work, when you do,
So that's when they say a lot of childhood trauma. and
Oh,
stuff like that.
yeah.
That's
It's
and
where
that's real.
all this
That
is
is real.
coming from.
Yeah.
that is
And
real.
you carry it into your adult life.
and you carry it into your adult life, and you can tell pretty much what a person's trauma is by the patterns. We live a life of patterns. We repeat what we see.
Exactly, exactly.
And so
Visual learner.
I can look at if somebody can tell me about their life, and I can tell where it started from and why they are the way they are. But in order to overcome that, we have to start the work. First of all, forgiveness.
Yes, yes.
We have to forgive our parents.
Right. Because what they always say too, your parents did what they knew at the time.
Yeah, they did
You
the
know,
best they
that's
could. They
that's
did
the
the
best
best
they
they
could.
could, yeah.
Which we all
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
So at this point though, I think we as a people we need to keep moving forward.
Oh, we have
and
to.
stop looking back.
No, we can't. And like Sabrina said, see, the thing is, you have to see yourself in a different way. That's why a lot of times with a lot of us, we can't see ourselves 5, 10 years from that. And I'm the type of person, I'm always 10 years ahead of myself. Okay, I'm in my 70s, so I'm looking toward my 80s.
Right.
When I get my 80s, I'm looking towards my 90s.
Right.
And what happens is, I don't know if it's just me, my age, but it seems time goes so quickly.
Yeah.
No, it does.
10 years can be going like, whoa.
Right. And I think it's a mindset because I have some people that said, oh, I'm not going to plan that. What if something happens? What if I'm not here? If you're not here, you can't go.
But not only
plan.
that, when we remember, words are powerful too.
They
Absolutely.
are.
God
Absolutely.
spoke life,
Yes.
right?
Yes, yes.
So we got to be careful what we're saying. Stuff like, I'm not going to be here,
Yeah, oh, please. Yeah, yeah.
but you're here now. Let's work
Yeah.
with the now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so it's a lot of work to do in our communities. Like people are
it is.
feeling like that.
But the key is to get Michelle. Can I tell you something?
Please.
I like to think of myself as Mrs. Future.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And why I say that is because I'm talking to the younger folks, right? I'm going to be 60, y'all, this year.
Looking good, 60
Don't
and
believe
sexy.
it. Show me some ID.
And I want people to know, I want folks to know, I don't care what age you are. Number one,
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
it's never too late.
It's never
never too late.
Never too late. Never
Number
too
two,
late. Yeah.
it's never too early.
That's right. That's right.
But what it is, it's time to start.
Yes. Yes.
Start.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm at so much peace in my life. And what happened was when I started to go on this journey, people started dropping off. And I started to get a little lonely, right? And then
course,
now I'm
of
on
course.
floor crying like a ball baby. This is
And
part
then you met me.
that part.
That's right. Yeah.
But it's part of the
But-
process because I was going to say it's part of the process. But as those people fall off, you start getting more people in your life
That's right.
to guide you on the path that you are supposed to be on.
That's right. That's
And
right.
it's peaceful. It's not perfect,
Yeah, yeah.
not perfect, but it's peaceful.
Right. And I like in the book too when you talk about affirmations.
Oh,
Because that's also
that's-
the
yeah, that's-
auditory learning
that's-
too.
that-
You
yeah,
want to
that's
hear.
deep. Yeah,
You know,
Yes.
so you
yeah,
should
That's a
keep
good
telling
point.
yourself,
Good
I
point.
am beautiful, I am smart, all those wonderful
yeah,
things.
yeah.
And you talk about that in the book. So
Right.
I think that's very important.
right. And so we have this in our brain, and we call it RAS. I'm going to just use it for short. Our brain gets in a lot of information, but it filters out the important stuff to you, what's important to you. So if I constantly say, I want a Bentley,
You do.
I'm going to
And
start.
why
you
not
will,
though?
right.
Why not?
But
And you will get it.
I
We
said
just
that
got to
to
figure out
say-
what color.
I always,
That's
you
all,
start to
yeah.
see them, right? Because that's
yeah.
what's important, not really important to me, but I'm just using that.
No,
as,
no,
I like
absolutely.
Bentleys.
You
but
like
I'm
what
gonna
you like.
start seeing them. So
I like
if-
Mercedes.
I know that's right.
Yeah, right.
So if you start saying things like, I am beautiful, I am strong, I am intelligent, I am powerful, you are now feeding that into every cell of your body.
That's right.
What do you think you're going to do? Now you're going to pick up a book and start reading. Now you're going to want to learn more about a certain subject because you're now feeding that into you. You're feeding that energy into you.
Yeah. And one of the things that I like on on the fourth part of the book is envisioning a life built on self-worth. And then you talk about the courage to dream. I want you to talk about that a little bit. What do you mean the courage to dream?
Okay, I'm going to use me as an example.
Okay.
And I get emotional sometimes because it seems surreal, but I know it is real.
Oh, wow. Yes.
For years, I used to envision myself on a stage with a red dress on with a bow on the side.
Okay.
And I used to always say, what is this vision?
Yes.
What is it?
Yes. Yeah, what is it?
So one day I said, you know what? I'm going to talk to the vision. I said, how do I get to you? How? What do I need to do to get to you? Because obviously it's there because I see it.
That's right. Yeah.
And I left it alone. After that, I started working with an executive coach, and we were talking about dreams. And I told her I love public speaking, even though I had never done it. So as I'm going with this executive coach, we would meet. And one day I go into the store, and there's this red blouse with a bow on it, but I didn't pay it any mind. I get the blouse home, and I put it on. I said, oh, my God. The vision that I saw of me in the red blouse, the wall started coming down, right? It started coming down more. So I'm on the stage with a red blouse on with the bow tie, and there's women, tons of women I'm talking to. And I put the red blouse on, and I'm like, wow. As the wall started to come down, it wasn't a red dress. It was cream-colored pants.
Oh, wow.
So I ordered a pair of cream-colored pants.
See that?
Right?
Yeah.
And now I'm standing in my mirror in shock because I'm standing there with a mic in my hand. In my room, in the mirror.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Fast forward a little bit further, Michelle had an event a couple of weeks ago. I didn't even pay it any mind. She sent me a picture.
I said, Sabrina, guess what?
You're
wearing red.
With
a
shirt with a bow on it.
You have
See
the
that?
microphone and you're talking in front of people, okay?
Yes.
So I sent her the picture, and she couldn't believe it.
It wasn't the cream
It
pants.
wasn't pants, but she was red head to toe.
No,
the
it
lady
wasn't,
in red.
The funny thing is, it wasn't the cream pants on me, but it still was the red shirt with the bow.
Yes.
Envision the life you want. It's already there. When you do the work, the healing, the self-doubt, the self-worth, your vision becomes clearer.
Yes.
When you begin to speak to it, when you begin to act on it, when you begin to move on it, it brings you to your platform.
Yes.
I'm here. I would have never been here last year.
No.
And me too.
Right.
When Ruby asked me to co-host for the month of February,
You said what?
I was like, okay. But I was like, I love February. It's Black History Month.
right. Yeah.
But we need to celebrate all months, not just February. And then Sabrina and I were thinking about doing a podcast.
Last year we talked about
we
it.
talked about it. And look at God.
Listen
I'm
to
like,
me. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that talk is good, but I quote the immortal philosopher Busta Rhymes. Says, "Don't talk about it, be about it."
Yes.
Hey, so we about
We
it today,
about
right,
it.
Sabrina?
And I like in your book, Sabrina, you say here, creating your vision of a worthy life. You say here, let's get one thing straight. Your dreams are valid. Yes, yours. Not the watered down version you think is acceptable or achievable, but the full, vibrant, soul-stirring dream you might not even dare to speak out loud. Somewhere along the way, you may have convinced yourself that your desires are too big, too small, or too out there. But here's the truth. Your vision doesn't need to fit into anyone else's mold.
No.
It only needs to fit you. Defining your vision is an act of self-love.
Yes.
It's a declaration that you
There's a
deserve a life
self-love.
aligned with your values, passions, and deepest joys. It is also a reminder that you're allowed to dream without apology or limitation. So let's kick self-doubt to the curb and get real about the life that you want to create.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
a call to action.
Let's start today. Start today.
So Sabrina and I are going to take this book on the road.
Yes.
And we are going to have workshops, and we are going to get it
Yes.
going. We're going to move forward as a people.
Right.
And that's our.
I want us
we need
together,
a plan.
not
This is the
separate.
plan.
Yes.
This is the plan.
This
This
is
is
the
the
plan.
plan. We're gonna
I
move
want us
forward,
together,
Sabrina. This
not
is the plan.
separate. We are one.
We have to lift each other up and
We are
work
one.
together.
Yep.
Yeah. And see, again, the way that you have it set up, I mean, your table of contents, the way you broke it down, those are like, if you have 5 chapters, those are 5 workshops.
Yes.
And you can go someplace and you can, sort of stretch it out, maybe meet once a week or twice a week and that kind of
Yes.
thing. But the thing is that,
got work to
like
do,
Michelle said,
Absolutely.
you have the blueprint right here.
Yes,
Okay?
that's
You
what
don't,
you
you don't have
have.
to create anything.
Yep.
All you have to do is just share it with others. And I believe, that what you have here, this is the time for it.
Yes.
Maybe last year
always
or the year
God's
before, but it's all about timing.
That's right.
And this is the time because we need this.
Yes. Yep.
And there's nothing for you to apologize about, nothing for you to say, well, you know what, maybe I'm dreaming too big. No, there's no such thing as too big a dream.
Yes.
And especially when you had the blueprint right in front of you. That's the beautiful thing about it, I mean, when I got this book, I just devoured it.
Yes.
I got highlighted all the
And you know what, too? And so vision is a good part, right? We have to vision the life we want, but we got to get clear on what we want.
Okay.
We have to get clear.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to get clear is we got to start getting the yuck out. We got to start chipping away at the stuff that doesn't belong there, at the stuff they lied to us about, at the stuff they told us we couldn't do, at the worth we thought we was not.
Wow.
Vision is what we want to see. Destiny is where we want to be.
Okay. So would you say this is like a holistic approach? Is it mind, body, and spirit?
Yes.
all
She
together?
talks about that. Yes,
Yes.
it's a journey.
You talk
It
about
is
that some more.
holistic,
Yeah,
yep.
Give
Yeah,
us
she
some more of
mentioned
that.
mind, body,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and spirit.
Absolutely. So in order to have a successful journey, we have to nurture our mind,
Okay.
our body, and our spirit. How do we do that? The mind, we have to educate ourselves. We have to learn new things. We have to be open to the process. Body, how do we do that? We got to move.
That's right.
We got to, if it means working out, working out. If that means walking in the park, that means walking in the park. If that's yoga for you, that's yoga for you. It's whatever works for you. But you have to get moving. And then spiritually, what's your source? Mine says God. I love the Lord more than life itself.
Okay.
What is yours? What moves you? What wakes you up every morning? It is, you have to tap into that source that's for you. Some people it's Allah. Some people it's the unit. Whatever it is for you, tap into that because they will guide you and give you the answers you need when you're ready to get them.
And
It's not
that's
going to happen
what,
before.
And
Yes,
and
yes,
that's
yes,
listening
that's
to your
beautiful.
your inside.
Yes.
That's listening to the
Yes.
spirit.
Yeah. But I think, again, like you said, you have to train yourself to do that.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, because you say rediscovering your self-worth.
Yes.
So what it means that at one time you had it.
Yes.
I think
We were born with it. We
I
were
think
born
all,
with
all
it.
kids are born genius.
Right,
Yes.
and you
when you're a
can
kid,
right when you're a kid,
I
they ask
do
you
that.
what you want to do. Oh, I'll be an astronaut.
Yes.
The
Yes.
president. I mean, we can do all that.
That's right,
But I'm
right.
just saying, you don't have any limitations.
You
Sky
don't.
is the
No,
limit.
no, you don't.
You don't.
And as you get older, then you look.
You
for,
limit yourself.
Yeah, because you look for validation for something. I mean, you go to the kid. Can you sing? Oh yeah, I can sing.
Of course. Can you
you
play?
dance?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I can do everything.
Whatever. I can do everything. At the
But
same time. But
but
as you
again,
get older,
if
you
you-
get sort of
you lose that.
self-conscious.
You
You know?
lose
Right.
that.
But
You
just
lose
think
that.
about our greats.
Yes.
Maya Angelou, Martin Luther King,
Yes.
Frederick Douglass,
Yeah.
Madam C.J. Walker.
Yes.
Imagine if they didn't tap into who they were and who they were meant to be.
Exactly.
It's time for us to honor our ancestors. It's time.
Yeah. And it's so funny because people are at this point, they want to find the fountain of youth.
No.
People tell me, you don't look like you're 74. And my question
Nope.
is, what does 74 look
Right.
like?
Right.
But I know for myself, and the same thing with you,
Yes.
and Michelle, and all of us, especially if you're creative, you're constantly renewing your mind.
Yes.
And as you renew your mind, you renew your spirit and the molecules and that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yes.
when I got into my 70s, I had to change my whole eating regimen. Okay, there's certain things I couldn't eat. There's certain things I needed to eat, and that kind. I'm at a point where I'm trying to change my whole body chemistry. Okay, so I'm doing
That's
avocados and
Yeah.
kale and that kind of stuff because that's what's going to keep you young. Because in the final analysis, it's not so much about your youth, but it's about the energy.
Yes.
Okay, and so once you tap into that energy, I mean, I might be 74, but inside I'm like 19.
Right.
I love
right.
it. I
Right.
love it. I love it.
I'm telling
And
you,
that's
I,
how
don't,
we.
I feel
That's how we
amazing.
should live.
You
Yeah.
have to. You have
And I
to.
feel amazing. So
And they used to always say age is nothing but a number, and it's true.
yeah.
But one thing I did want to point out in your book, Sabrina, the thing that I love, I highlighted in your book. Well, I highlight a lot of stuff in your book, but
Yes.
one thing is doubts aren't the final word
No.
on your life.
No.
They're just the stories that you learned along the way.
Yes.
And guess what? stories can be rewritten.
That's
To
it.
me, that was so
That's
powerful.
it.
I love that.
That's
beautiful.
it.
I
Yes,
love
they
that.
can be rewritten.
That was one. I love everything in your book, but I thought that stood out to me.
Yeah,
because it also reminded me of Oprah. Oprah used to say that you can change your mind.
Yes.
When Oprah said that, that was like an aha moment.
Yeah, of course,
Because
of
people
course,
was like
of
to
course.
hold you
Yeah.
to certain things,
Right.
and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you say, well, I changed my mind, and you grow and you move on.
Right.
But and I love that. You
Right.
can
And so
rewrite
the
your
funny
story.
thing is, that's in an essence what we did. We let somebody write the stories of our lives.
Yes, yes, yes.
We literally gave somebody the pencil, the pen, the paintbrush, and they created a version of us that's not truly us.
That's right.
And
That's
until we start to peel back everything that they said we was or
That's
was
right.
not,
That's right. That's right.
when we do that, we start to open up to our authentic self.
That's right. That's right.
And Black women have been doing that since day one. We've been taking care of white women children.
Of course.
We've
of
been
course.
the nannies,
Of course.
yeah.
Okay.
housekeeper.
No doubt about it. No
We've
doubt
been
about
everything.
it.
The strong Black woman,
Oh.
and we keep doing it.
Right.
But it's time to get help
To know
for us
you.
as well.
It's
and
time to get to know you.
Yes.
And it's a process, right? I had to figure out what it is that I loved.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yes, yes.
And I don't just I love symphony. I love the symphony. I love string music.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
the piano.
That's beautiful.
And I said, oh my God, I wonder if I could play the piano, right?
Oh, right.
So I
That's
went and
right.
bought me
Sabrina has a
an
beautiful
electric
piano.
piano.
Okay,
And guess
all right.
what?
You have
I can
a
play.
piano, too.
Yes, I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
play
yeah,
some
that's a beautiful
tunes.
thing. No,
I can play some tunes. I mean, I'm not the greatest.
No, well, hey,
but
you
I'm
gotta
telling
start
you,
somewhere. Yeah.
you have to try different things.
But I think
to
in our
see what
culture
you
too,
like.
a lot of Black homes had pianos.
Yeah.
Whether someone played it or not,
Yeah.
it was always
You're-
like a
you're
piano
right.
around.
And the thing is, I think a lot of times, again, and I really, I'm happy about your daughter, okay, because she's seen you go through something that
Oh, she's amazing.
Hopefully, she'll never have to go through.
She's amazing.
But
Yeah,
you
our
saw how
kids
you, but
are
you went through.
brilliant.
You were the example
Yes.
of something that she can avoid now. Okay, 'cause
We
you've been
have the
through it.
capabilities to break these patterns. We
course
have
we
the
do.
capabilities to break the cycle. And even if it's just in your own family,
Yes, yes,
you
yes.
have the capability to erect change.
That's right.
Right, and that's what starting small is even, with the small goals, work with your community, work with the people in your family. That's how you move forward as
Yes.
people.
That's right.
And lead with love. When I tell you, I
I like
love
that. I like that a
people.
lot.
I love everything. Lead with love.
Yeah. I love that. We need to give her a sound clap.
Yeah, can you do that? Okay.
Let's
yeah,
see if
yeah,
I
yeah.
can do that.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful. But again, I think what it is that a lot of people don't understand that whatever you can do, it can be done.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was growing up, for a Black person that I knew to write a book, that was like.
Yeah.
That was I couldn't imagine that,
Yeah.
And when I got involved in college, I was I said, wow, those professors are so smart, and I realized that they're not so smart as that they studied. And then when I became a college professor, it was a shock to my system because I didn't know how I got here.
Yeah.
And what I did is that I looked at pictures of professors, and so every day I would come to work in a 3-piece suit and a bow tie. Because I thought that's the way that professors
See
dress.
that?
And it blew my mind because the white professors, they would come very casual in jeans and whatnot and T-shirts and whatnot. And I'm thinking, you don't look like a professor.
Right.
But the thing is, I got that in my head to the point where I was able to visualize that and to move into that.
Yeah.
And to be comfortable in that. And then I can take it to another level. But like you said, you have to see it sometime before you do it.
Right.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that's real critical is that we have to talk about the mental health and the trauma
Yeah, please.
because
Yes,
that's
yes,
big,
yes, yeah, it is,
right?
it is.
And so when you have the pain inside, or you see yourself repeating those patterns that are not healthy,
Yes, yes.
we have to identify the pain. I call it find it, feel it, and fix it. That's the way I see it. And
That's good.
when
I
you
love
do
that. I
that,
love that. I
Do
love
you
that.
think she need another audience clap?
And
for that?
look, I mean, you dropping some gems, okay?
when you find it and you feel it and you fix it, you move to the next level.
Yes, yes, yes.
And it's not healing and self-worth is not a linear path.
Okay,
You're gonna venture off.
that's right. This is
Again,
ups and downs, right?
right? You gotta give yourself grace. I love to say I'm perfect, but I be lying to everybody.
Just a little bit.
I just
A little bit, a little bit, a little bit.
poquito. And so it's not perfect. But again, give yourself grace. And if you have another opportunity, do it again. Over and over and over again. Try a different path. You probably can't do it on your own. I wanted an executive coach.
Okay.
And so I seeked her out. Well, and pretty much God sent her to me,
Yeah,
but that's a whole nother show. That worked for me.
Yes,
Right.
Everybody has to
their own
find
path.
what works for them.
Yes.
Of course.
Absolutely.
And so, but we got to get to that mental health, the pain and the trauma. We have to start working on it. A lot of people, because we were taught as younger kids, whatever happens in this house, stay in this house.
Yes,
So
I heard
people
that.
hold that stuff inside of them,
They do.
and they're not able to be vulnerable to get it out.
Even there's a stigma in the community,
Of course it is,
which
still.
we need to move forward from, because I've dealt with mental illness as well.
Right.
And I seek therapy and things like that. But some people like, oh, no, just pray it away, things like that.
That's
And
the old school
That's the
way.
old
It's the old
school
school,
way.
yes,
So
yeah,
we
yeah,
do
yeah.
need to get more into, releasing what we have inside.
Yes.
And like Sabrina said, if it's not just journaling, writing it all out, getting it all out on a piece of paper.
Right.
Which was back in the day, you had a little diary. You
Yeah.
could write a little diary.
Remember that?
That's a little
They knew what
business.
they were doing with
They
the
just
diaries.
changed words.
Little
They just
key
changed
and
words,
everything.
right?
Yeah,
Little
yeah,
key.
yeah.
It was your top secret. Look, now you don't have a key on your journal.
That's
But
right.
anyway, it's basically the same concept. And it's just getting everything out on paper.
Find
and
it,
that's how you
feel
can
it,
move forward.
fix it.
Yes.
And what
then
does fixing
talk
it mean?
therapy.
Yep.
Then you speak to someone.
Yep.
So
That's
there's a lot
important.
of work to do, but I really don't like that we have this big stigma
Right.
around mental health. It's
And
just
if-
so unfortunate.
And if folks would start to look inward instead of outside of themselves as to what's happening around them, when you start to look inward, you'll start to get the answers.
Right.
And I think sometimes too, mental health is when you're trying to be perfect.
Right.
That perfectionism,
Yeah.
and then that weighs a lot mentally
Of course
on
it
you
does.
because you're
Of course
trying
it
to do everything perfect.
But
and
the
I
question
think what
is
I
why.
did,
There's
right?
a reason
And I
behind
think
that.
That's what happened to me. And then when I realized everything's not perfect,
Right.
then I was able to move forward
Right.
on my mental health journey.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Michelle, you got to give yourself grace,
Right,
like
and
Sabrina
give
said.
some grace,
We
right.
got to extend grace to ourselves. I mean, every time I mess up, I laugh at myself. So
Right, you have to.
I
That's
mess
what
it
I
up.
do.
I do better next time.
Right,
But I'm not
exactly.
gonna-
Always
the next
I'm not
time.
going to beat myself
That's
down
right.
and say you're a terrible person. And
No.
whatnot.
Because you wouldn't do that to a friend. That's what
No,
Sabrina
you
was saying in her book.
Right.
Treat yourself the way you would treat a friend.
Right.
Exactly.
Great job.
Yes.
Tomorrow we just do better.
Do better.
That's right,
Yeah.
right,
Absolutely.
You have to be your own cheerleader.
'Cause it's
And I
not
was a
as bad as we
cheerleader
think.
in high school, but yeah, you have to be your own
Yeah.
cheerleader.
And also, I think sometimes we get into these different roles: the husband, the wife, the brother.
That's
the
a whole
sister,
nother
that kind of
story,
stuff.
right?
And
All
you got to
these
understand that we play these different roles.
Yes,
but
different hats.
Yeah, different hats. But we have to understand that we are people who have many different things going on at the same time.
Yeah.
It'd be nice
You
if
have
you
to
just
learn
do
how to
one
multitask.
thing at a
Right,
time.
you can't.
Okay, I'm gonna deal with this. No, but what about this?
Everything's
But-
going on at
yeah,
one
yeah,
time.
Yeah. You can't just say I'm going to deal with that. You have to really, I guess, like what Sabrina was saying. You got to sort of calm your mind down.
Ooh, you have to.
Please.
And that is hard. Let me tell you something.
Tell me
I
something.
meditate. I meditate every day for an hour,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And at first it was hard, especially when you look at TikTok and you just scrolling
Of
or
course.
the world's
Time goes
just
by
going
fast,
so
right?
fast.
Time
Girl,
goes by.
3 hours. Okay, I don't do that anymore. But so
yeah,
when
yeah.
you go to sit still to quiet your mind, it's like your mind's like, going all over the place. And it's almost like you have to talk to yourself like, okay, calm down.
You have to. You have to.
And you have to keep at it. And then eventually you'll learn how to calm your mind down.
That's right.
Yeah, so many stimulus and everything.
But like you said, but you can't really respond to everything.
No.
Some things you got to let go.
Boundaries.
And my thing, I mean,
Boundaries.
don't
I think
sweat the
that's what
small
key
stuff.
is,
As
right.
far as I'm saying,
Yeah, with
everything is
mental
small
health,
stuff.
it's
Yeah.
boundaries. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's so funny, I'm looking at the clock, and we have about 10 minutes.
Oh,
wow, that time went by
time flies.
fast.
But my question to you is, why should people buy this book?
Oh.
I know it's gonna take
Because
more
they
than 5
need it.
minutes, but- of course
Why
they need it.
should
Of course
they
need it.
buy the book? They should buy the book because hopefully hopefully I'm a living example that you can erase or change your life story.
Okay, I got you.
That's the first thing.
Yes, please.
The second thing is this book has some amazing tools to at least begin your journey.
Okay.
If you get the book, read the book,
Yes.
and actually do the work, the call to actions,
Yes, yes.
you'll start to see change. It may be small. You may not even think it is changing.
Yeah, but it
You'll
is.
you'll see the change. And lastly,
Yes, please.
I think it's a phenomenal book. I'm just saying.
No, that's fine. And Michelle, you want to say some things in closing?
Well, in closing, yes. There's so many things I could say in this book, but we need a whole nother hour.
Right.
So I think we should move forward with the workshops.
Right.
And you said here in your book, the last thing I'll mention, identify a person who lifts you up.
Yeah.
Someone who encourages
That's important. That's
Yes.
important.
someone that you could spend more time redefining. So, make it a daily practice.
And it's
to have
important.
self-love.
And it's
Yeah,
important
that
just
is
to make
important.
sure it's the
Yeah.
right person, right? Because you could do all the work. I'm beautiful. I'm great. I am that I am.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
you have a person who's beating you down, who's putting that self-doubt, then you are, the work is for nothing. It's in vain.
That's right.
So you have to make sure when you build your community, it's like-minded people, or it's people that can help you through this process. Because I don't want to be in the room where everybody's just like me. I want to be in a room where people can elevate me as well. So that's important, who you have around you.
Right. So I think the next steps, Terry, would be getting the workshops,
Yes.
lining those up.
And also, I'm going to hold you two accountable, okay? Because you put it out there, okay? So if I see you next week, I'm going to ask you, have you moved in that direction? Because I think what happens, a lot of us, we need accountability. Because you want to say something, I'm going to do something, then you sort of let it go. But if somebody's saying, hey, what about that workshop? Are you and Michelle doing that? They're like, oh, okay, yeah, we need to do that. Because again, I tell you, it is so important that people get this book, that they rediscover their self-worth.
Yes.
Because like you said, we were born, we were born great.
Right.
It's just as we go through life.
Right. Life beats us down.
It beats us down, to the point, oh, man.
What they say, life be lifing. Right. Life be
Right. Those
lifing.
outside influences are really a determining factor as to who we become. But
Yeah, you have to have
And Terry,
vocal,
just so you know, I'm a little competitive. So when you say you accountability, okay, I'm just playing.
Yeah, don't mess with Sabrina. She gets it
Tell
done.
her, Michelle, right? Tell her.
I must say, Terry, since I've known her, she gets it done. She works hard physically. You can't tell her do anything because she'll have it all
she'll do it.
rearranged.
Okay,
You'll
all
be
right.
like, wait a minute, I was going to get the bag and open it up. But she has everything done already. And so mentally, if you tell her to, or if you have her an idea, man, she'll do the pillars and
well, I love that, and I love
Yeah,
it for
she's
a
a hard worker.
of selfish
Yeah.
reason. Because again, I really want you to do more with this book. Again, I mean, I think one of the things that we have to understand that we're in an age where we have technology.
Yes.
We have technology that we never had before. This program that we're doing now. Back in the day, a podcast was just audio.
Yes.
Now a podcast is audio and visual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you have to understand, because you're stepping up to another level.
Right.
That you have to raise your game up.
That's right.
Okay. Because we can't play this game with the old playbook. Okay. It got to be a new playbook, because you know what? It's a new day.
Yeah.
And this time, with so many things going on in the government that we can't change, we got to understand that we need to develop a community.
That's
And so
right.
in this particular program, we're developing a community. Ruby Williams Shivers, she brought me in. I spent the whole year with her before I had my own show.
Oh, can I say one thing
Yes,
about
please.
Ruby? Ruby says unapologetic amateur looking for experts.
Yes,
And
yes.
I explained that to Sabrina. And you know what Sabrina told me? I said, Sabrina, you're right. She is the expert.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's looking. She's what she's
But
looking for.
I'm saying,
Like, yeah.
but Queen Ruby is
Yeah.
just so humble.
Amazing.
She is very
She's
humble.
beautiful.
So
She's beautiful.
She won't accept
Spirit
that.
inside and out. Yeah, she is the expert.
I told her, I said, Queen Ruby, at this particular point, you are expert. She said no, because, but the point that I'm making is that, but I like that the humbleness.
She's
Yeah.
very humble.
Yeah.
And I really thank her for allowing me to participate today and be the host for February. But like I said, we have to celebrate as a people every month, not
Yeah.
just the month of February.
That's
and I
right.
think that will help move us forward as
That's
well.
right.
Oh,
Let's not limit it to one month.
Well, I mean, again, like for Black History, for me, Black History is every day.
Right,
Every
every
day
day.
I live is Black History.
That's it.
and
You're
that kind
making
of
it
thing.
every day.
And that's why the government, they don't have anything
They don't
to
have
tell
nothing
me.
on
You
us.
know, it's about, I can't celebrate Black History Month because, again, it's a situation where they didn't create that.
No.
We
Right.
created that.
We created it.
And a lot of times with our creations, whether it be jazz, whether
We
it be
are
Country
phenomenal.
music,
We are
Beyonce.
phenomenal.
Oh, yes,
Yes, she
Beyonce,
won the
yeah.
Grammy.
Yeah. And it makes me laugh because all music in this
Originated
country
from
is from us.
us.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to give me that credit, but just listen to the music.
Mostly everything is from us. Traffic
Everything.
lights,
Everything.
bridges, everything.
Anything you could think of.
That's right.
Going to the moon.
Yes.
Oh, man, please,
yes.
you know,
We just
please.
going to keep it moving now.
We,
right?
we have to. But, ladies, it was a pleasure.
Yes.
Michelle,
Thank you,
Sabrina, it was a
Terry.
pleasure
Yes.
having you on
Yes,
the
thank you
program.
so much.
Again,
And we'll
thank you
continue.
so much for having
We got
me.
to have you back because, again, I think we just sort of scratched the surface.
Yes.
And there's so many more things that we can talk with you about because I know you're on a journey. And the
Yes.
thing is with a journey is that it's going to be increasing. And again, I know, and it's so funny because I spoke to you a couple of days ago, and now here we are.
Yeah.
Look at God.
You know.
Well, He's leading our steps because, this is wonderful. I'm so thankful to
Yes.
have been given this opportunity.
Me as well. Thank you so much.
Oh, one last thing. If anybody needs a Valentine's Day gift, email
Yeah,
me.
please tell us.
Grandma Pauline is a queen. GrandmaPaulinaSaQueen @gmail.com. We're having a Valentine's Day. It's very special. You get a massage, you have yoga, plant-based taste.
Self-care.
Yes.
Self-care.
Self-care.
Plant-based
Self-care.
tasting
Important.
food. I know my book has soul food in it, but that's for special occasions. Look, so we're gonna keep that because we got to preserve our history.
Well,
So we're
Michelle,
gonna keep that.
I thank you for that, and now
Yeah.
you can take us out.
Okay. So the event is February 22nd at Alley 14 in Bound Brook, New Jersey. Again, email me for tickets. It's a $75 special. Come out. We're going to have vendors, fun, music, and everything. And what do you want me to take you out with the music?
Yes.
All right. Let's get it going.
Woo.
Party time, right?
I learned how to do the board.
Nice.